All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports Esports podcast. I'm your host, William, and I'm just here by myself today. And before we get this is the LPL, by the way. Before we get started, I gotta give a shout out to IEDOL72, who just followed me 4 minutes ago. But I had Streamlabs open. So what happens in Streamlabs is I get my notification, which is Jin whispering carelessly or just beautifully to me, "I feel inspired." I didn't realize that went through when I wasn't even streaming. I jumped about 30 feet in my chair just now. I thought I was about to become a piece of art. A piece of beautiful art. Oh my god, I was just literally updating these standings right here, and I was just not expecting that. It scared me so bad. So shoutouts to you for absolutely terrifying me. Let's get right into these predictions already. I am already completely thrown off. This week was by far my worst week in the LPL. I went 7-7 with a very ugly 3 losses to end the day, or with 3 losses on the last 3 of 4 games. So I was quite upset because I take pride. I had over 70% pick rate throughout the entire season. Look at this. I had 9-3, 9-3, 3-3 was pretty bad. But then 5-1 and 9-5, which was 7 losses, a lot of upsets, a lot of very close games. Let's just get right into it to start. First off, we had Team WE versus LGD, and for some reason my page went back to Chinese. So give me 1 second as I cannot speak Chinese. There we go. Alright, so the first game was very close. It was 11-11, just back and forth games. Yuki was popping off on the Akali though. He went 7-4-3. That doesn't mean Z, I believe. ZI? Xie. I can't say that properly, but he was doing pretty solid on the Vladimir at 3-1-7. Yuki was getting more of his kills off of Beishing on the Lee Sin and Mystic on the bot lane. Mystic did not have one of his best games, but that's because he was going against Kramer, and we've been talking a lot about Kramer and how much we really like him. Oh, hey, by the way. Yeah, Aidol? Is that how you say it? I don't know how to say your name either. But man, you literally scared me so bad. I am so flustered because of that. Oh. But yeah, it's a very good game by Team WE. They won the first game. Second game was much more of a. Oh, did I say I had the teams backwards. Even though Yuki was popping off on Akali, they still lost. My bad. But Team WE did win that game. It was very close. Second game was a lot more of a blowout. It was 18-9. Pose was crushing it on the Urgot. He went 4-4 on it, but that wasn't. Bishang dominated on Olaf. This is how you play Olaf. Olaf doesn't have a win. I still don't believe in NA because we're too soft. In NA, we play too safe. And that's not what you do in the LPL, and it's definitely not what you do on Olaf. And you play super aggressive, you always gank, you always go for kills, you take the risk every time, and it worked off in this game, and that's why he was able to completely shut down Condi, and Team WE was able to pick up a nice clean 2-0 to start the week. It was a very good game, and I think it's pretty good. I think Team WE has very much struggled lately that, like, they aren't real. I wouldn't call Team WE a playoff team. I obviously wouldn't call LGD a playoff team either. But by them 2-0ing LGD here, it showed that they are better than bottom tier. You know, they are still possibly in the hunt for one of those 8th round seeds if they step up their game. And with Mystic, and I really like Mystic and Missing. I think they're a very great duo. And even they showed it this time. They beat Kramer. Even though Kramer was on the Vayne, they put all the resources into Kramer to carry this game, which frankly is what LGD has to do every single game they play. But even with that, Kramer wasn't able to carry them, sadly for them, and Mystic showed that Lucian is better than Vayne early enough, and you can end the game quick enough. It doesn't matter how much late game scaling Vayne gets. Next, we had IG versus Sunning. This is the recap of, or the rerun of Sunning being, or not Sunning, sorry, of IG being back to the top of the league, I think. Personally, they dominated Sunning. Sunning has struggled greatly these past few weeks. This game was a blowout. It was 30 to 10. You don't see 30 kills too often. But frankly, Sunning kept it close for the first few minutes, probably the first 10, 12 minutes. It was back and forth even. And then Rookie just popped off on the Akali. Jackie Love popped off on the Callista. It was just, Ning was a monster. And Hacker did not play the Olaf correctly. He played too passive on the Olaf early, and it just let Sun or IG just get to the stage that they wanted. And it was just simply a blowout. 30 to 10 was crazy. Next was game two, and IG took the series 2-0, and this was with an 18-12 game, much closer, much closer. Sunning had the lead for a bit, but they played the Olaf again with Weiwei instead of Hacker. I haven't seen Hacker in a while, which really concerns me. Like, I know that Hacker's not winning either, but back when Sunning was winning a lot, they had Hacker play all the time, and then he got the flu that one day. I believe it was against Fun Plus Phoenix right before the Chinese New Year, and I haven't really seen him since. They play him like every once in a while, but they mostly go with Weiwei, which I haven't liked Weiwei much, to be honest. They also went with Angel instead of Maple, which Angel played okay in this game, but at the end of the day, Rookie was just too strong on the Lissandra. You had the Shy popping off on the Aurelia. You don't want to give to the Shy the Aurelia. He's just a monster on carries. And then you still have Jackie Love. IG just looks fantastic again. I think they're back into true mid-season form, and I think that their little hiccup against LGD is just what it is, a hiccup. I don't think that's truly what represents them, which is what I originally thought it might be, because they had been struggling even before that. Alright, series number 3 was Top versus Sinnoh Dragon. First game was Top. Fantastic performance. Rookie on the LeBlanc was just making Twilla just hate his life. Pretty much Rookie absolutely, or not Rookie, sorry, Knight. Not Rookie. Knight was just absolutely making Twilla hate his life completely. He just popped off. I believe, did Knight finish this game with like 10 plus kills? I don't have it. I have the match history, but I don't have like the exact match history for these games at the moment on me. But and then 369 on the Jace was popping off on the Jace, the Cassiopeia. Jace is very strong in the Cassiopeia, I feel like, because he can, even though Cassiopeia is strong early, Jace is much stronger in my opinion, and he can really shut her down because she has no mobility, and he can really jump on her quickly, and he outranges her, and he can get up close and personal with her and do more damage quickly. And I think that that's a very solid pickup for 369 to go into the Cassiopeia. But Loken really didn't do much on the Kaisa. Frankly, Loken doesn't do much in this entire series, to be honest. And that's really a statement for Gala, who has really stepped up his game over the last few weeks. And I know Sinnoh Dragon's all rookies, but I did have him 8th in preseason, and they did not look good in this game. But spoiler alert, they look pretty good in the next two. Speaking of the next game, it was Sinnoh Dragon just completely wiped the floor with Top. It was 13-5. It was a 12k gold lead. No, that's an 18k gold lead. I am sorry. That's way worse. It was just a complete blowout. The gangplank for Cheng Hong was amazing. I'm sorry if I butchered the names. I'm so sorry. I'm from the Midwest. Zhao Peng absolutely destroyed XX. XX did not have a good game at all in Jarvan. Twilla with his Zoe. I love Twilla's Zoe. I think he's one of the best, if not the best Zoe player in the world right now. He constantly, that might be a little much. He's top 5 Zoe player in the world right now. He's amazing. This is his bread and butter. Every time that Sinnoh Dragon picks Zoe for him, I feel completely confident that they're going to be able to win this game. He's just so good at zoning with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. He doesn't even have to hit it, but he's one of those great Zoe players that you know where if they miss it, it's okay because they still trap the lane so that, or the choke point. They create a choke point with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble so the other enemy team is stuck there if they don't have any way to get out, like Lissandra E over the wall or something like that. So he's definitely one of those players, and every time I see him on the Zoe, he just completely pops up. Yes, exactly. Yidal, sorry I didn't see that. I'm assuming you're talking about Sunning. They have not won since they benched Hacker from the flu, or since that FPX game with the flu. And I'm very concerned about Sunning. I used to have them in the top 5 out of all teams in the world. Like I thought, son, I was in love with this team, in this super team, and I have completely fallen off that bandwagon. Sorry if I don't see your messages. I still don't have my third monitor, so I try to pop up every now and then. The next game though was Sinnoh Dragon versus Top in game number 3. Sinnoh Dragon crushed this one as well. Not as badly. They didn't win by 18k this time. They only won by 8k, but still they had the control of the entire game. This time they had they had Twila on. Or no, they didn't have Twila. No, why is it all messed up on the thing? Anyway, they did have Twila on Jace. That's what I was gonna say, but the match history is all messed up. But Gala was the reason that they won this game personally. I don't think it was Twila. I think it was Gala. Gala on the Xayah just completely made Loken irrelevant on the Kai'Sa. And even though Knight was on Cassiopeia, he's not. Knight's amazing. Don't get me wrong here. Knight is probably top 3, top 5 at worst, best mid laners in the world, entire world, up there with Rookie, Caps. I don't. Chovy and Faker, maybe. I don't know about Faker being top 5. That's bold for me. I'm sorry, but like he's done good, but not many fantastic performances this year. But you got to put him up there just for it's Faker, He's up, but Knight is up there, right there with them, and I think he's more of a burst assassin or just a straight up assassin player. And when he's on those type of champs, he's really popping off, like the LeBlanc in game number 1. When he's on something that's slowly scaling that needs some time, the Cassiopeia, he doesn't look as clean necessarily. He wants to go in and he wants to fight, and that's the LPL in general. They always want to go in, which makes it my favorite region to watch. And frankly, they just did not look as clean this game, and Top actually lost this series to Sinnoh Dragon. I wanted to pick this because I'm like deep down like really rooting for Sinnoh Dragon because I put him at 8th in preseason. I'm like, that's bold. When I saw like Raz and them put him at like I believe 15th or 14th, I'm like, maybe I put him a little too high. But they're doing really well, and they're 4-4, and I was very happy to see it. But again, I think Top is a very solid team. I think there's a little hiccup for them, and they performed excellently in game 1. They should be able to perform in the upcoming weeks. I still think they're a top team, and I think they're top 4 team in the LPL. Next, we had FunPlus Phoenix versus OMG. This was a very easy one. FunPlus Phoenix won 11-3 in the first game. Doinby just popped off, and so did LWX. I think OMG personally is the worst team in the league. They did not have Ally, they did have Ale for the Ale for the first game. That was last week that they didn't have Ale. But both games were complete blowouts, so don't need to talk too much about that. FunPlus Phoenix were still undefeated after this game. Next, we had JDG versus Victory 5. This game, I had actually picked Victory 5 to upset JDG, because I really thought that Victory 5 was up and coming, and I still have some question marks about JDG. I think that they play very well with Flawless on the team, though I actually think personally that Levi is better mechanically than Flawless. My only issue is that every time they play with Levi, that they have communication issues. There's breakdowns in vital team fights that you notice. Levi never really feeds in any of these games, but there's something that happens in the mid to late game with JDG when they play Levi that they always lose. Like, they haven't won a single game yet this year with Levi, and that's very shocking considering I consider him an amazing jungler still. But I think it really comes down to communication issues, and there's either a translation that's taking a few seconds too long for the split-second reaction, or there's just a bunch of fumbling and miscommunication where Levi's trying to understand what they're saying, or he's trying to communicate to his team, and it's not coming through perfectly translated, or like it's through like broken Mandarin or something like that, and there's something going wrong there. So with that, JDG, I'm still not 100% sold on them as a top tier team, where Victory 5 with Jinnu especially on his Riven and stuff, just popping off every game, and even Korn and Ben 4, they really seem to work together really well. And even Y4 was popping off. He played Vayne. They gave him a lot of resources this game, and Vayne was amazing. Vayne is a pick that doesn't get played too much in other regions, but in the LPL, when you want to go for those late game team fights, it's a fantastic pick, and I love it. I feel like it's a lot of they watch Uzi as well play Vayne, and all the ADCs kind of inspired to step up to Uzi's level because I think the LPL has the best ADCs by far of any region because of that. It's like an Uzi effect kind of. But Victory 5 did win the first game of the series, 8-5. It's about a 7K lead, and they just absolutely crushed through pretty much the whole game. The second game though was second game was 15-20, but they didn't. JDG was able to win the second game because even though Jinu was on his Riven, it was only 1-3. Zoom on the Renekton actually shut it down pretty effectively. He just was able to bully him in lane and get enough of a lead that Renekton he doesn't really fall off anymore. It's one of those weird things that I have to realize that with Sterix Gage in GA, you could be pretty tanky on Renekton without losing your damage. Where before you would either have to go full damage on Renekton, where you'd have to snowball and win the game by 30 minutes, or you're gonna blow up instantly, or you'd go full tank after like after your you build Titanic Hydra and then just build full tank after that, and then you just wouldn't do anything in team fights. You wouldn't be able to produce enough damage that there was so many other top laners that were better than you, and that's why he was never really in the meta for a while there, for like a year or two, honestly. But he's still always a dominant lane bully in solo queues and stuff like that. But now with the ability to build Sterix Gauge, have a stopwatch, have your GA, like you can build enough, you can survive long enough while still building your damage that he never really falls off at any point in the game. And it's very scary. I don't like facing Renekton as a top laner. He's very annoying to play against early on. But yeah, it destroyed Jinu's Riven, which we haven't really seen Riven lose too much until this week. And Imp played fantastic, which is very rare for Imp, to be fair. Like, I don't like to criticize too often, like, just a certain player, but Imp has been definitely the weak link of JGG by far. And he stepped up 8-2 and 9 on Kai'Sa. That's carrying the game yourself. It was a fantastic game by him. And not only was it just one fantastic game by Imp, he had a third fantastic game as well, if my thing would like to load. Think my using the match history from the Chinese server. So yeah, basically it crashed. So Imp destroyed that game as well. It was all around very clean by him. I think that I might have said the second, and third games backwards. But just imagine that Imp crushed both games. I lost my pick with Victory 5. It was actually JDG that won that series. 2-1, very close series. I think that showed a lot for Victory 5 that they can be towards the top teams. Next series was Rogue Warriors versus Snake. I thought that this would be a Rogue Warrior upset after last week. They performed very well with their upset of Sunning. Frankly, Sunning just sucks apparently because Snake started this series 13-2 against Rogue Warriors in a complete blowout game. Won every lane won, and the whole thing was disgusting. And then the next game was closer. It was 23-22. It was a very bloody game. Rogue Warriors kind of stayed in there a bit. Wuju was pretty solid on the Callista. Zhao Yun was solid on the Urgot. He was really holding those team fights together for his team, but it just wasn't enough. Flandre pulled out the Akali. He's a beast on the Akali. We won't see that anymore, sadly, with 9.4 coming up this week. But the Akali game of 7-3 and 11, he was able to just blow up Wuji one too many times in team fights, and even Azura on the Ezreal popped off as well. And there's a clean 2-0 victory for Snake. I apologize to them for completely doubting them against Rogue Warriors. Next, we had RNG versus Team WE, and this was no hate towards Team WE. I think RNG, since the update, and this is 9.2, just wait till 9.4 comes out with Uzi. And, just wait till this team pops off. Once Uzi's back on this team looks completely different than they looked in the first 3 weeks of the season, where, frankly, they looked pretty bad. They were 1-1, I believe, or 1-2, or 2-1, and they've just looked amazing since then. They won this game 16-2, up 11k gold. Excuse me, popped off on all lanes, very just clean. And then the next game, they also won 23-3. They were up 8k gold, just clean all around against for RNG. I've got to move a little faster because I realized I'm only 7 series in, and we are 20 minutes into the podcast. Next, we have Top versus Snake. Snake looked great in their last game against Rogue Warriors. Did not look great against Top. Frank, granted, you're facing a top team. That was not a pun. I'm sorry. That was not intentional. You're facing a bottom team, Rogue Warriors. So that shows that Snake, even though they were able to crush Rogue Warriors, so they're not near the very bottom of the list, I'd say they're still kind of below there. There's 11-3, quick blowout, 9K. Victor, even Knight made the Victor look good, which is impressive. And then you had Knight on the Jace, and Knight on Jace is disgusting. he's one of the best Jace players in the world. I think that's a Jace actually. I realized that my websites are kind of crashing, and that could have been 369 on the Jace. It's I'll show you in a second. You don't need to see it. But next game we had Vici Gaming versus LGD. And I do want to talk about this series. This series made me tell my friends that if you look at, because I watched this game, this was from Friday, but I watched it on Saturday. If and then this if you watch Vici Gaming versus LGD, it's a slugfest. It was close. These two teams were 1-7 and 1-5. They didn't look like 1-7 and 1-5 teams in this series. They looked very good. And then I went over to NA for the LCS and watched Clutch Gaming and 100 Thieves, and Clutch Gaming throw an 8 kills to nothing perfect game against 100 Thieves, and then 100 Thieves throw the game back to them, and then Clutch Gaming throw the game back to 100 Thieves, and then eventually lose because of that. I'm like, oh man, my region is just so weak compared to the LPL. I think VG Gaming and LGD played this game phenomenally well. Not to say LGD is that great, to be fair. I think VG Gaming is much better than the record shows. I think that's because of they've brought every single series to a game 3 except for one this year, I believe. So they're on the stepping stones of improving. I really am a big fan of Puff and Southwind. I think they're one of the most underrated bot lanes in the entire league. And in game 1, they were the reason they won this game. They went 6-1-4 on the Sivir for Puff. And they really, even though that wasn't Kramer's fault necessarily, Kramer was 5-2-3 on the Varus. This was a battle of the ADCs, and it was fantastic. Game number 2, though, LGD. Oh no, sorry, LGD won the first game. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, because that was Kramer single-handedly carrying them, basically, like most of their series. And then game 2, VG Gaming came back and win because of Puff and Southwind, and they were dominating as well on the Varus. Varus was a high priority pick this series, and it wasn't really expected, because we usually don't see Varus too often picked at the moment. It's more of the Sivir, definitely the Ezreal, even the Vayne more so. I think the Ezreal does what Varus wants to do, but better, and has more mobility with it. But the Varus was a very important factor of all these games. And Chalise on the Yorick, which is a split-putting monster for Vici. Game 3, man. Game 3 came down to that base race. I'll show it at the coming up soon. At the spoiler, it's play of the week. But I think this was just a phenomenal series all around. I don't want to spoil too much about that. We'll just watch that later on. That's a great play. VG Gaming did end up winning. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler that I just said I didn't want to do. Next we have Billy versus Rogue Warriors, which was, again, Rogue Warriors did not look very good. Billy looked clean. I'm not 100% sold on this Billy team, but they're quietly having a fantastic year at 5-2. They're 4th place in the standings right now. They destroyed 19-8 in the first game, 12-8. They were up 7K, and they were up 13 or 14K in the first game. So the first game was much more of a blowout than the second one. Jin Zhao on Cassiopeia just popped off in the first game at 9-1-6, and that was against Wuji, who is probably the best player in my opinion on Rogue Warriors, in Kahlua. But yeah, I'm not 100% sold on Billy. I don't think they're up there with the likes of IG, Fun Plus Phoenix, obviously, and like Top, and even RNG. But I think they're right on that echelon right before there. So you have like some great teams, and then I think they're the top of the good teams, you know, and that's fair. That's what they want to be. I think at the moment they're gonna be a middle of the pack playoff team, and they can. I think out of all the teams, they could maybe sneak some upsets against some of the great teams. I wouldn't put them as like up to their level, but I definitely have them in upset territory, if that makes sense. Next, we have EDG versus JDG. And guys, from week 3, I believe it was, I think it was week 2 or week 3, I made the bold prediction that EDG is not going to make playoffs. And I laid it out for you. I laid it out that their schedule was really hard coming up against JDG. They had a game against Sunning and all these games. I'm like, yeah, they're not going to win these games. There's no way. They're losing to bottom tier teams like Snake. And no one else is losing the Snake, just EDG. And I was wrong. I don't want to go back on my word yet, but I'm getting very close to going back and eating crow that EDG probably gonna make playoffs this year. I gotta say that my prediction might have been flew a little too close to the sun, a little too bold, saying that they're only in 6th place. They're only a game, I believe, if they win here. If Sunning is actually out of the playoffs right now, never would have expected that when I made this prediction. Sunning had just received their first loss of the year, so that, to be fair, did not expect that. But they still have Victory 5 and Sunning down here. Outside of that, and you can probably drop Sinnoh Dragon, I think EDG should be okay. There's still a chance for me, but it's pretty slim. It's really slim. Next, we had the games from today. We had Royal Never Give Up versus Victory 5. Victory 5 looked okay, but RNG, again, like I said before, yeah, then Clear Love showed up. Exactly. Clear Love showed up, and my predictions are Clear Love is a beast in the jungle, and he's ruining my bold prediction. I wanted to look like a genius, man. Oh, man, I would have been like EDG misses playoffs probably for the first time ever. I don't actually know, but probably for the first time ever. They've always been dominant in LPL, and I'm just want to sit there like, called it week 3. Genius here. Nope, doesn't look like it. I'm just gonna look like I have egg on my face. EDG will probably be a top. If they go to MSI, I might cry. I don't think there's no way they can beat Fun Plus Phoenix, IG, RNG, like stuff like that. I don't think they're at that level, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. RNG crushed Victory 5. Actually made me kind of sad because I thought Victory 5 did great against JDG and we're on the up and up. Like, did they face AG? I don't know, but RNG just destroyed my hope. And Victory 5, after 2 losses this week, gotta bounce back a bit. I think I actually even moved them up. No, I moved them the same. I kept them the same, but I think that I'm hopeful with this team, but they disappointed me this week. Let's just say that. And I've fallen off hype trains before. Every time I get on a hype train, it dies, I feel like. And I just hope that doesn't happen because I always feel bad. I want to get excited about like every team, especially in regions like that. I'm not like I'm a big NA fan. Obviously, I grew up in NA. I live in NA, and my first 3 seasons of watching League was only NA. So like I have hatred. Like I don't like TSM at all. I'm a Liquid fan. I used to be an Immortals fan, but now I'm a Liquid fan. And there's like biases that I have, and my friend's like a CLG fan, so I can't root for CLG, stuff like that. But in like LPL and all these other regions I'm watching now, I don't have any like strong alliances, so I kind of hope everyone wins at the same. Like I like to hop on trains, call it bandwagon, I guess, but I'm more here for the analysis than the rooting for a sole team. So if I see a team doing really well, I'm like, great, I'm gonna pick you next week. And I feel like every time that happens, they go 0-2. Next we had Sunning versus OMG. My God, Sunning! The first game looked great. 26-minute win, fantastic. I'm like, okay, it's OMG. That's why I consider OMG like the worst team in the league. I totally just realized they beat Sunning. I need to move them up in my power rankings. I actually legitimately thought they lost this game. That's how that's how bad, like, how infuriated I am about this game. OMG goes in, wins game 2, 37 minutes. Game number 3, Sunning is up 10k gold. 10k! Like, they're about to clear this game. They're in OMG's base. And just Chelly on Israel. He just He just wins the game somehow. I was half paying attention by this point because I was looking forward to watching IG versus FunPlus Phoenix next, the best game of the week. And I'm like, okay, I got this Sunday game. I even was talking to my friend at the time, saying, okay, as long as IG wins now, I'll at least go 9-5 this week. And I kind of forgot that Sunning didn't win the game yet, and it turned out they lost. They somehow with 10k gold lead, they lost 3 or 4 team fights in a row. I don't even know how to explain it. This team is a mess, a complete mess. They're supposed to be the super team. They've lost their mental fortitude or something. I don't even know what's going on with this team anymore. I don't know where Hacker is. Why is Hacker? He's a great jungler. Why is he not playing? I guess it has to do something with scrims or something. It makes me mad because I was a real big fan of this team at the beginning of the year. I did say they would get, I believe, second or third. I don't know if I have my preseason rankings here still. Let's check. I had them fourth. Okay, I wasn't as big of a fan as I thought. I had IG winning with top number 2. And I think that let's see, I really failed FunPlus Phoenix, I believe. Yeah, I put FunPlus Phoenix 7th. Ugh, that was disgusting miss. I had FunPlus, to put this in perspective, I had FunPlus Phoenix at the start of the year being just above Sinu Dragon. Still 65% win rate overall in my predictions, but that was not a smart preseason prediction, I'll tell you that. Can't get them all right. But yeah, Sunning completely threw the game, the OMG. Chelly put the team on his back on the Ezreal. Now, Ezreal really put the team on the back. Chelly's had some questionable plays, but Ale as well on Jax. I want to put this in my thing. He went 10-3 after not looking too great against Urgot at the start. I want to put this in my little folder. If you've watched any of our podcasts or you pay attention a bit, you'll know that I think Jax is one of the most, if not the most, broken champion in this game. And if you watch NALCS, you see Darshan, who's probably the 10th best top laner out of 10 teams. He carried on Jackson to game 1 of this week, and that was definitely I think Jax is so stupid in top lane. I cannot beat this champion. It's a mental block for me. I get it. And if you go like, oh, William, just ban Jax, then you don't have to pay attention to it. I can't ban Jax. I play Cho'Gath, I play Urgot, I play Maokai, and I play Malphite. Lots of tanks. Urgot's nerfed now, so Urgot's also the newest of that group. It used to be Cho'Gath, Maokai, Malphite, Nautilus. Nautilus top doesn't exist anymore, or you're trolling. But I play a lot of CC tanks for team fighting. I don't play for the lane, so I lose lane like almost every game I play. So I banned Darius, is the point I'm trying to make here. Darius slaughters all those, and I don't want to deal with my team flaming me when a 5-0 Darius comes into lane or out of laning phase. So I get stuck with Jax every game, and I don't like him. I don't like facing him at all. Makes me mad. I seethe having to play against Jax. I can't beat him. I think this the way he procs Conqueror, it's the old Conqueror. I haven't played too much with the new Conqueror yet, but his old Conqueror with his Counter-Strike, he jumps in, his Counter-Strike stops my Cho'Gath E, which is most of Cho'Gath's damage, by the way. It's not from the CC, from the Q and W. It's his sneaky damage from the E, from the max HP damage that people don't calculate in. It blocks that. He jumps in, he stuns me. The Sheen proc plus the Conqueror proc does more damage on his empowered auto attack than my ult. It's I don't like it. He has a Cho'Gath ult every 5 seconds is what I'm trying to say here. And I don't like it. Sorry, I get a little impassioned or passionate about Jax. I don't like Jax. Don't like him. Finally, though, we had the best game of the week, sorta. Best series of the week was Invictus Gaming versus FunPlus Phoenix. Invictus Gaming absolutely crushed game 1 and took it in 26 minutes. I'm sitting here all smug. I'm like, oh, I get picked against the undefeated team. I am smart. FunPlus Phoenix has not had a true test yet, and I think they're very good. I think they're a top 5 team in the world, but I think IG is just right there with them, and they're heating up. 26-minute win, easy. Nope. Next game, 22-minute win for FunPlus Phoenix. They won up them with 29 kills in 22 minutes. It was a ugly, ugly, ugly blowout for my side. Doinby popped off on the Lissandra. He went 9-2-10. He really just was amazing. And then game number 3, finally a close game at least. And like the only issue about this game being game or series of the week is the first game wasn't really close from 5 minutes on. It was all IG. Second game wasn't close 5 minutes on. It was all FunPlus Phoenix. So we had 2 games that really didn't you knew the other team wasn't coming back in, so that's a little boring to watch, frankly. But game 3 was back and forth. It was very close. And Doinby on the rise, he builds the righteous glory on Rise in the Rylise as well. You are not escaping a Rylise righteous glory rise for the life of you. And that's just Doinby genius, you know? And he went 5-1-5 and he carried this team. And FunPlus Phoenix beats IG. And now I think with the win against IG, they are totally legit. I would put FunPlus Phoenix actually at the second best team in the world right now because of this win against IG. I think this game was to decide who is the second best team in the world. You can't say they're better than Griffin. Griffin looks by far the superior team out of any region, in my opinion. But this game between IG and FunPlus Phoenix was such a high level game or series that it legitimately decided who's the second best team in the world for me. And that at the moment is FunPlus Phoenix. Shocking to say that at the beginning of the year, by the way. Doinby might be the best mid laner in LPL right now, and maybe even the world. It's just awesome to see. Home arenas when teams play. I actually haven't because I watched so much LCS. I'm still getting used to which teams are the home arenas or not. This is my first year watching LPL. And I would like to know, what's the data on wins losses in home arenas? I would be very curious because that would help me with my prediction. I'm at 65%, but I really want to stay about 70%. That's been my goal all year in my predictions. And if it's a very big difference, like in other sports, I believe home arena usually adds 5% chance to win for the most part, in like basketball and stuff. Like I do spread picks for football, if you know that, for American football. And a home team, if they're the home team, they usually get a 3-point advantage on betting wise. So like if teams are 50-50, equal in everything, but it's at this or one team number one's home, they will be a 3-point favorite usually because home field advantage usually gives the team an advantage of about 3 points per game. In LPL, it does matter. Yeah, because LPL, I believe they're the only region that has home arenas, because the LCK has Lowell Park, NA has the LCS studio, and the LEC has the LEC studio. And I don't know about LMS, to be fair, but I believe LMS is played at the same place every time. So I think LPL is the only region that actually has home and away or home arenas. So I actually would be interested to see. I'm going to look that up, actually. Thank you for that point. I'll look that up after the podcast. Okay, though. That's all of our games. Oof, that was a long time. That was 38 minutes. I'm sorry. I'll try to get through these quickly. Speed up the rest of the podcast a little bit here. There's 14 series, to be fair now. There's a lot of games in the LPL compared to the other ones. Top laner of the week, though. Players of the week. Top laner of the week was EDG Ray. KDA of 32 this week. Ray made not just clear love. Ray stepped up this week. CSM of 9.9. Damage percentage of 27.5. DPM of 697. His best game was his 13-0-12 on Aatrox against JDG. If you enjoy Aatrox gameplay, go watch that game against JDG that Ray plays Aatrox. That is a treat to watch. Jungler of the week was Billy's Meteor. He had a KDA of 7, CS per minute of 6.4, GPM of 385, damage percentage of 19.3, DPM of 429. His best game was 4-1-8 on Skarner against Sinnoh Dragon. That was a very big game. Mid of the week was EDG's Scout. I don't know why I said scout so weird, but KDA of 12.3, CSM of 8.5, damage percentage of 23.7, DPM of 581. Best game was 11, 2, and 15 on LeBlanc, and that was just the scout popped off again. EDG as a whole just had a fantastic week. Scout is also one of the main reasons why EDG always wins. I think he creates so much pressure in his communication with Clearlove to bully the mid lane kinda, and for Clearlove to constantly gank mid lane to give Scout pressure to be able to roam to other lanes with Clearlove is exactly what EDG needs to succeed. ADC of the week was Billy Jin Zhao. He had KD of 8.7, a CS per minute of 9.7, damage percentage of 33.6, which is pretty good, DPM of 779, and he went 9-1 and 6 on Cassiopeia against Rogue Warriors. He popped off. I think that I said Cinder Dragon. I think I meant against Rogue Warriors for Meteor. I don't think Billy played against Cinder Dragon this week. Support of the week was RNG's Ming, KDA of 12.4, average assist of 13.8, GPM of 335, and best game of the week for him was 1, 2, and 22 on Alistair. I wish my stat page I found. I can't find any other one for LPL. It would give vision score for LPL, and for some reason it doesn't, and I don't know why. It gives it even for LMS, which is usually the region that gets the short end of the stick, to be fair. But yeah. And maybe they just don't track in LPL. They only like to track kills in teams. But with that, let's go quickly to Play of the Week. And I know Play of the Week is a little long this week, but I want to show it. I teased it a little earlier, but I think it's a great play. So this was Vici Gaming versus LGD. This was Game 3. And 40 minutes in, Vici Gaming was up 13-4, but 40 minutes in, anything can happen. He cleanses out of this, but the inhibitor goes down. Condi's on the side. And they pretty much it turned into a base race. As again, they've got 15 seconds on the timer. They find Condi in the front. Kramer's in the back. They're looking for the auto attack. Kramer's still alive. He's burning down, and that's finally the assassination. Such a close fight. LGD try to set their back against the wall, but the wall cannot Tom Kench is an infuriating champ to play against. How much he could save people. On the other side of the map. He's under the Nexus turret. It's a race. It's a base race. Ash is going to try to burn it down. Look at the damage. Does Lies have okay now? That Quicksilver Sash by Puff saves the game. It's amazing. It was an amazing series between two of the last place teams, but it was a fantastic Quicksilver Sash by Puff because it just gave him the little bit of extra movement speed to escape from Yorick. Like, it was insane how close. Because if he doesn't escape from Yorick and Yorick kills him before he believe he gets 3 auto attacks off of because of that, I think LGD wins off of how close it was. Ian on Akali was only 2 or 3 more auto attacks away from taking down that Nexus, and I don't think that the Vlad was going to be able to take the Nexus quick enough after if Puff dies there. So it was very well played to burn the Quicksilver Sash even though you knew no CC was coming at you. Just to get that extra little speed to pop a few extra autos into the Nexus tower. Or Nexus in general. With that, we will go to our power rankings. Power rankings, of course, number 1, I still have FunPlus Phoenix. They defeated IG in a very close series, and they have proven themselves that they truly deserve number 1 at 8-0 on the year. So it's been a fantastic year for FunPlus Phoenix so far, and I think that they can keep going. There's only them and Griffin are the only 2 undefeated teams left in the 5 major regions. I believe Phungvu, Buffalo, and Vietnam is undefeated last time I checked. But outside of that, I don't think there's many, even the minor regions that have undefeated teams still. But second, I did move IG. This looks a little weird because they're 6-3. I moved IG to number 2 because of how well they're playing right now. They took FunPlus Phoenix close, but I think that IG's loss to FunPlus Phoenix is okay because FunPlus Phoenix is undefeated. And I think that IG is really stepped up their game the last 2 weeks, I believe. And I think this team is the defending world champions, and they have the most individual talent. Now they've made quite a few cocky mistakes that that have been being fixed over the past few weeks. It's more of a controversial number 2 at the moment, but I really do believe deep down that this IG team can face off against anyone, even running back against Fun Plus Phoenix. I think that series is just as close again. Top, I also believe, is a very top. Again, sorry, don't mean it. Don't mean the pun. They're a top team, but top is they lost to Sinu Dragon, which is why I brought them down to 3. If they wouldn't have lost to Sinu Dragon, they would have easily been number 2, no questions asked. But they did lose to Sinu Dragon. I felt like I had to punish them a little bit for that. I don't think I could have kept them at number 2 even with that loss, which is kind of how IG fell into number 2 as well. RNG number 4 moved up. They are looking fantastic again. I think these top 4 teams are really the clear favorite. As in these 4 teams, one of them is going to win the LPL this year. I fully believe that. I think these 4 teams are frankly all in the top 10 in the world. Like Fun Plus Phoenix would be number 2. I'd put IG I haven't done my list in a few weeks, but I'd put IG let's just say 5. Top would probably be 6. And RNG would probably be 7. Like they probably have 4 of the top 7, frankly. And I'd put Team Liquid number 8, G2 number 9 type deal. And the LPL is fantastic. They have they're top heavy, but they have fantastic teams at the top. And it's going to be a blast to watch these 4 teams in playoffs duke it out to see which one goes to MSI. Because honestly, I'm going to be sad seeing any of the 3 not make MSI. Sadly, only one team can make it. And frankly, I'd love to see Doing B make it out into international for his first time. I'd love to see IG return from defending world champs to come to MSI. RNG, you see Uzi. RNG is a great face to be at MSI. Top Esports, I'd love to see Knight at MSI. All these teams I'd love to see. It's a shame only one can go. Next, I have Billy at number 5. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold on them, but they're having a sneaky good season. They're 5-2 right now. They're tied for 3rd. I'm not 100% sold. I don't think they're in the same echelon of those other teams, but they're pretty good. 5-2. You don't get to 5-2 off luck. Let's just say that. EDG, I've moved up to number 6. I've had them low. The performance by Ray, the performance by Clearlove, performance by Scout. I think iBoy and Mako have been having okay performances on bot lane, but I think that's the weak link of the team at the moment. I used to think Ray's been having a very bad year. If you look at some of his stat lines. Oh, you'd put EDG above Billy? Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I don't want to. I want to keep my hope, my dream of EDG missing playoffs. I can't put them that high. It's for my own personal, selfish reasons. But I think Billy and EDG are very close to each other. I think they're very equal. I think this would be a 3-game series. I think personally Billy would win 2-1, but it would be a 50%. It would be a coin flip, in my opinion. JDG has moved down to number 7. Without Clearlove, no. Okay, yes. Yeah, it depends if Clearlove plays. You're absolutely right. But Meteor is playing pretty fantastic as well. So Meteor is having a very good year, and I don't know if he can hold with Clearlove, to be honest, but I think he could try. JDG has fallen down to number 7. I'm still not sold on this team. I wasn't sold on them, and frankly, if they wouldn't have beaten IG, I believe it was week 2 that they beat IG, or week 4. I don't remember. I think week 4 is when IG. Yeah, week 4 is when IG lost to LGD. So week 2 when they beat IG, that JDG won that game was kind of holding me back on this. But I was saying JDG was down towards the middle of the pack before that. I've seen there's a lot of question marks on this team, and they need to get them figured out if they want to be a top team in playoffs. If not, with their talent, they're still a playoff team, but they're not going to be a threat in the playoffs with their sloppy performances. And they make a lot of mistakes in game, and they pay for them a lot too with losses. Sinner Dragon has moved up to number 8 for me again, where I had them in preseason. They beat top, and frankly, they're 4-4. They're number 8 in the regular standings as well. So 4-4, they're having a better year than pretty much everyone could have predicted, I would say. And frankly, I'm a big fan of Sinner Dragon, and I hope for them to have more and more success because you make a bold prediction like that. I mean, I didn't know the LPL as well as like I do now. Went back in the preseason. This is my first year fully watching them. I only watched like I'd watch the finals between like RNG and IG, but outside of that, I didn't really watch. So I like saw Sydney Dragon, new team, new players. I'm like, yeah, this team. Like I get excited about new players. Like ever since Griffin, I know Sydney Dragon's not going to be on the Griffin level, but I figured why not give them a shot, and they proved me right so far. I like the whole team. Victory 5, number 9. They had two ugly losses, but frankly, I think they're still. I think one loss against the loss against JDG was pretty bad, but the loss against RNG is okay. I probably should have dropped them a little bit, but frankly, I wanted to drop Sunning. I didn't, and I want to talk about that. I've dropped Sunning down to number 10. I am disgusted with this team. I was a huge bandwagon fan. I think I honestly put Sunning as the number 1 team in the league for the first few weeks, like between like week 3 like week 2 and 3. I was all on board. I love Sword Art. Sword Art has been one of my favorite supports for the last few years, and they're just not playing well, frankly. Smiles or SMLZ is just he's not playing great either, and I'm just sad. I'm sad because I like the Sunning team. I thought they were a powerhouse super team. They're just not. I don't know what to do because they've lost 5 games in a row now, 4 games in a row. Like it's pretty bad. It's not good. I don't. I'm just gonna put it in simple as that. Not good. Then we have Team WE moving up to 11. Vici moving up to 12. They won their game. Snake won their game, but then they lost pretty bad in their second game, so I put them to 13. OMG upset Sunning. They're moved up to 14, which I did this on the fly because I honestly forgot OMG upset Sunning because I just assumed Sunning won that game because they were up 10k on game 3. Makes me so disappointed. And then Rogue Warriors lost pretty bad, and LGD lost to. Actually, we're doing an on-the-fly change. I'm putting Rogue Warriors at number 16. I thought LGD played very well against Vici Gaming. They deserve 15 off of that, but they don't deserve any more than that. Rogue Warriors at number 16. I think that they're probably the worst team in the league at the moment. New talent, very tough. Anyway, with that, let's get straight into Week 7 predictions because we're already we're only 51 minutes in. I moved through those pretty quickly. Um. Okay, so week 7 we have, and to be fair, I'm gonna go to LPL schedule. So for the LEC in NALCS, Google's been wrong for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go off of this. If it's wrong, actually, let's go to esports.com. Is this No, that's not what I wanted. But if it's wrong, I'll fix it in a second. But it tells me that Vici Gaming is the first game of the week. Google's been wrong for me the last few weeks, so I just want to. I think it should be correct, but I don't know. I think the first game between Billy Billy and Vici Gaming, this will be a close game. I think Vici Gaming, every series with Vici Gaming is a close series. They've only lost one series by 2-0. So with that, I am picking Billy Billy to win this game close. 2-1. I think that Billy Billy will clean up. They'll actually be 6-2 by this point. That's pretty good for them. But again, they haven't beaten any of the elite teams yet. Next game, well, I'll pull this over here so I can read it a little faster. Next game is Team WE versus Snake. And this game, I am actually going to pick Team WE. I have them a little bit higher than Snake. Snake disappointed me a lot in their second loss of the week. They just didn't look very competitive at all, and I thought Team WE has looked better over the last few weeks. And with Mystic, they're going to be able to win this game 2-1 though, because I think that they're not that much better than Snake. They're just a slightly bit. If Flandre's Akali is also getting nerfed to the ground at 9.4, which also means that Team WE should be okay. 2-1, close series. Team WE takes it. Hopefully I get back on my. I dropped out of 70% pick rate I had for 5 weeks, and now I'm 7-7 week. That put me at 65%. This is the week I get it back. I'm at least going 10-4. Or yeah, 10-4. I gotta move that up to series 13, series 14 total. I didn't I didn't check that before the podcast, but that's fixed now. All right. Game number 3 is Sinu Dragon versus OMG. I've told you before, I'm a big Sinu Dragon fan, and I think OMG is one of the worst teams in the league. I think all they have is Ale, and outside of that, not too much consistent. Shelly played really good today, to be fair, but he's not consistently good, if you know what I'm saying. I think Sinu Dragon takes this one 2-0. I think Twilla in the mid lane, give him Zoe. Free win, Sinu Dragon. You heard it here. You could take that one. Series number 4. Ugh. LGD versus Sunning Gaming. I want for the life of me to let my hype train die on Sunning. I don't want to pick them. I picked them like almost every game. Look at this. Sunning, loss. Sunning, loss. Sunning, loss. Sunning, loss. I keep picking them over and over and over, and I lose every time. But LGD is the 15th team out of 16 in my power rankings. They lost a close game to VG Gaming, which VG Gaming isn't the best team. They're like a team that's attempting playoffs. Let's say that. I wouldn't call them a playoff contender, but they have a chance at playoffs. And Sunning Gaming is out of the playoffs right now. They're a team that should be in the playoffs. I have to pick Sunning Gaming. I'm picking them out of spite, 2-1 against LGD, but don't let this. I feel like a hypocrite because I said they're dead to me. I'm off the hype train, but this is just such a bad game that they should not lose. I feel like I'm throwing it away if I pick LGD. But at the same time, if LGD wins, I'm never picking Sunning again for the rest of the year. Oh, they'll make me so mad. We could throw that away, though. That's a garbage game. Let's talk about the next game. RNG versus Fun Plus Phoenix. Oh, man. What? RNG coming up. This is with 9.4 coming in. So this is with the buffs to ADC. And because of that, I know I picked against Fun Plus Phoenix and I failed with IG. I'm picking RNG to take the first loss for Fun Plus Phoenix against RNG. The ADC buffs are going to be amazing for Uzi. I think that RNG knows how to team fight around that, and getting rid of or putting Kai'Sa for LWX and not as strong as a position. I think he's a fantastic Kai'Sa, but his other stuff I haven't been as impressed with. His Kai'Sa's amazing though, so don't get me wrong. And he's good on the other stuff, but it's not as good as his Kai'Sa. And Kai'Sa not being as top tier anymore, and she's fallen more of a Sivir, Caitlyn, Tristana, stuff like that. All the crit ADCs coming back in. I think Uzi will take this 2-1. Very close. I said Uzi. I meant RNG, but because of Uzi, they will take it. They know how to team fight around Uzi is basically what it is, and basically that means Uzi wins. 2-1 for RNG. Next, we have Invictus Gaming versus Victory 5. I think Invictus Gaming bounces back this week after a tough loss to Fun Plus Phoenix. Victory 5, I know I'm praising them up, but this will be their third loss in a row. But again, it's against tough teams, so I can't blame them too much for this. I think this is a 2-1. I think Victory 5 with Jinu. I think if I know it's against the Shy, but I think if he can get the Shy to play a little over aggressive and Jinu can have his jungler come up and counter gank or gank for that, then they were actually able to get Jinu to pop off a bit. Maybe on the Riven. No, maybe not on the Riven because the Shy used to be a one-trick Riven. But either way, I think Jinu has enough carry potential that with his jungler's help, he can stem the bleeding against the Shy and actually maybe get the Shy to play a little too over-aggressive like he has been playing this year. IG will still win the series, though. Dwayne B will cry if FPX wins. Yeah, that will be the greatest thing. Dwayne B, I've heard that he's been on some. I hadn't heard of him before this, frankly, because again I haven't followed too much LPL before this year. But I've heard that he's been on some very bad teams. So this has to be the greatest feeling for him because he is truly amazing. Top Sports versus VG Gaming. Top Sports will win this game, but I will have it at a 2-1. I have lost a little faith with their loss to Sinu Dragon, and I still have faith in Vici to throw a game 3. They will be good enough to get it to game 3. They aren't good enough to win the game 3s, though they did win against LGG, but that's different. But this will be a closer series than it should be. I think it'll be just VG Gaming pop off, Puff and Southwind on the bot lane. We'll just be able to crush through Loken for one game. And then after that, it'll be the Knight show. Knight will carry through 2-1. I think a lot of the games this week are actually going to be closer than a lot of people realize, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and it could be all 2-0s. That's what predictions are for. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Edward Gaming against LGD. I would love to say LGD upsets them, then gives me back to my position of EDG is going to miss the playoffs. Not going to happen. Edward Gaming 2-0. Easy series for them. And frankly, I'll probably put them in the top 5 if they have a dominant enough performance. Next, we have JDG. This is on Saturday now, so we have 3 games on Saturday. JDG versus Sinu Dragon. I'm a big fan of Sinu Dragon. Again, I think I've said that a million times over the last few weeks. Not a huge fan of JDG. I think they're actually weaker than their record shows. I think, like I've said before, the multiple miscommunication issues, multiple overextensions, and not playing solid macro. They want to take every team fight, even if it's not smart to take the team fight, and it's burning them in this a lot because a lot of other LPL teams are frankly really good at team fighting. So if you give them an advantage in it, they're going to capitalize. And JDG, I think it's going to lose this game to Sinu Dragon 2-1, and that will put Sinu Dragon at a solid 6-4. By the way, 6-4 Sinu Dragon. You heard it here first. Next, we have Victory 5 versus Rogue Warriors. Finally, Victory 5 does not have to face an RNG or an IG. They can get Rogue Warriors, probably the worst team in the league. 2-0 Victory 5. Get back on their push for the playoffs, because right now they're not in the playoffs, and they're facing such a difficult competition right now that they really need to win some games. Like, frankly, I think they're a playoff team, but you can't be a playoff team if you're going to lose all your games. It doesn't work that way. Next we have Billy versus Sunning. Can finally pick against Sunning. I have full faith that Billy wins this game. I'm sick of picking Sunning and losing and getting burned by it. So this is absolutely going to be Billy. I'm even going to say Billy 2-0 because this is finally, I feel confident. I've broken away. It's like an abusive relationship. I've broken away from Sunning. Until they show, well, then I run back to them. That's not a good analogy because if they show that they start winning by beating OMG this week and then beating Billy as well, that that they'll actually be a better team and they've actually fixed their problems. But no, I'm definitely going Billy. I think they'll be able to. This will be the first kind of a. I want to say it's a true test for Billy, but if they beat Sunning, and then we're going to say it's not a true test because Sunning will be lost again, you know? So I can't say that. They lose, it's a lose-lose situation. You lose, it's terrible. For Billy, you win, and you don't get much in brownie points. You get a win, though, which is more important than brownie points. Next, we have another fantastic matchup between Fun Plus Phoenix and Top Esports. If Fun Plus Phoenix, they already beat IG. If they go 2-0 this week against RNG and Top Esports, I will give them, I dare say this, and if you listen to our LCK podcast, I don't give this lightly. I will give them 3 victories out of 10 against Griffin. I think Griffin is like the perfect league team at the moment. So giving them 3 victories is a compliment. I haven't given 3 victories for anyone else. I did. I gave it to IG, but I have to take that back now because they lost. But I'll give Fun Plus Phoenix 2 victories at the moment. I'll give them 4. Screw it. I'll go bold. They would go 6-4 in a best of 10 against Griffin if they win against RNG and Top Esports. I don't think they'll win against RNG. I do think, however, they will win against Top Esports because I think Doinby will be able to shut down Knight enough, not necessarily shut him down, but he will be able to shove lane or be able to compete equally against Knight. And Knight is such a catalyst for Top that Doinby Not that Doinby isn't a catalyst for Fun Plus Phoenix, but it's going to be a truly amazing matchup to watch. And I think Doinby gets a slight edge, in my opinion, at the moment. And with that slight edge, he'll be able to tip the scales just a tiny bit. I think this is like a 52% chance to win for Fun Plus Phoenix, but that's 52 is better than 50. So I'm giving it to Fun Plus Phoenix for game number 2 of their week. And they will recover after their loss to RNG. Next, we have Invictus Gaming versus Team WE. I'm sung praises of Team WE that they might be an outsider looking in, but they have a shot at the playoffs still. Not against IG, though. They don't have a shot against the top 4 team. 2-0 IG. Next, again, same exact thing. Royal never give up. RNG, they're gonna crush Snake. 2-0, easy. I think RNG is gonna be one of, if not the best team on the Rift with this new patch coming in for ADC buffs. I think this is the perfect patch for RNG. It fits their team fighting style completely. They can play exactly how they love to play, and that should have them move up to the top, if not first, second place in the league. And with that, that should be our podcast. Thank you guys for coming to watch. Aidal, I never got your exact pronunciation on your name, but thank you for coming to watch it live and have some questions. I like that. I don't usually get that, and that made me happy. But thank you for coming to watch. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLinkFan. You can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/KingLinkFan. We usually stream around 10 p.m. I try to do 10 p.m. as best I can, but sometimes I'm still making last-minute adjustments to my notes. I talked with my friend. We have an idea of what we want to do now with the rework of the thing. I got all my pictures ready. I got a background color all planned out. I'm excited to see some of the first rough drafts of it. I'm looking so much forward to it. I'll show a little teaser. I do stuff in paint, so it's not pretty, to be fair. It's not pretty at all. I can probably pull this up. Podcast concepts. I'll just pull this up real quick. Let's do this is a rough players of the week thing that I'm kind of doing. It's a little teaser. I want to do something like that. That's just the teaser you get. I think it'll be awesome. Ignore my handwriting. I put players of the game. But with that, I'll send you guys off. We'll see you guys tomorrow for LCS if you want for NA. And I'll see you then. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.